Good morning. Hello and welcome back to No Full Live Chat. I can't believe we've been doing this for over a year now. Me and two co-hosts, Tracy from Miss Tracy Kessler and Kelly from No For Endless Summer. We hop on every Friday for a quick 30 minutes just to chat about everything that's going on in the North Fork. Usually we invite a guest to come along and talk about what they're doing on the North Fork. It's a great way to showcase some local businesses, more information about what's going on. I don't know why I'm having technical difficulties. Like I said, we've been doing this for a year, and I don't know if we've had a day. Hello.
Good.
Without technical difficulties. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh my God! Look at that cute face.
Say good
Hi,
morning.
Tilly.
Say good morning.
How many? Okay, let's ask a burning question. How many bows does Tilly have?
That's funny. She has, let's see, probably like 50.
She rocks each and every one of them. I mean, it's not, it's not like she doesn't look good in any one. All of them, and they all match her outfit.
Well, yes, they all match her outfits. In fact, actually, she's still in her pajamas because we're doing things a little earlier these days. So I said, "How do we dress up your pajamas? Let's just put a bow on." So we put a bow on. Yeah.
It's perfect. I know. I was saying. I know. I cannot believe that we have been doing this show for a year, and I don't know. I think maybe it's the change in time because I'm, trying to have to be. I'm awake, obviously, but just trying to have to be ready to talk and go live by 9 a.m. It's just making me think. Oh my God! We've been. But it's kind of fun. We're not planning on stopping anytime soon, I hope.
I've noticed that my choice of wardrobe as we've moved the show earlier has gotten less and less thought through. Although I do want to point out that today I'm wearing my only rainbow shirt for Pride Month. And I have a rainbow outfit for Tilly, but we just haven't gotten to get it on her yet. So
I need to invest in some bows because really this is all that shows in the camera. So may as well just rock a bow,
Yeah, exactly. I know. Alyssa said she sent her request to join.
I did. There's a little bit of delay for some reason after I clicked, but I still don't see Kelly.
Hi,
Good
Alyssa.
morning.
Hi, ladies.
How are you?
Good.
I don't see Kelly yet. I don't know what's going. I don't know if it's like I was saying in the beginning. I don't know that there's been a day where we really haven't had some version of tech issues. and maybe we're blaming it on tech issues when it might be operator issues. Who knows?
Yes, that's totally true. Well, we don't have the whole behind the scenes Today Show crew, giving us like makeup refresh and all that. So
makeup refresh. I mean, that would begin with makeup first.
Right. Right.
Yes, we do not have, in case we look. Good morning, Kelly. How are you?
Good morning. My issues were not tech issues. My issues were child issues.
Understand those too.
You know what you could do? You could just put a bow on it and then everything just looks better. I mean, look at Tilly. Isn't she adorable in that bow? Oh my God.
I know. I don't know if Patrick would put a bow on, though.
She's looking right at us.
I know.
Yeah, she's definitely usually like, what's going on?
I know. Yeah. Well, she's starting to like see things on the camera, I can tell. I really don't let her watch TV, but every once in a while I put on Encanto. It's the only thing I'll put on if I need like a little bit of a break. And she just stares at it like this.
The music is the best. It's even good for you.
Yeah, exactly. So she's starting to watch that. But I just wanted to say, hi, Alyssa. Welcome to our show. So
hi,
I'm going to introduce Alyssa. Alyssa is Imaginariums by Alyssa, right? That's the name, Alyssa?
Correct. Yep.
And she is a gardener. What would you say? Like you're a
plant stylist.
Plant lady. She's a plant lady.
Plant stylist.
Plant stylist is my fancy title.
Okay, well, and I can concur because she styled my plants. If you remember last week, I said I was going to buy faux plants for out by the beach barn, and everyone said no. And so Alyssa literally ran over and came and styled my plants for me. However, I am in charge of maintenance, and she did remind me to water them today, so that's good.
Can't
Yeah.
get the
Under the
watering.
shelter because we've had so much rain. You wouldn't.
I know.
Oh
Yeah,
well.
so I have to remember. So I promised to water them today.
Good.
And Elissa, why don't you tell us like what you're up to? I know you do some classes and some other things, so tell us about what you've got going on.
Yep. So it's turning out to be a great season. I'm going to be doing uh, at the Brick Cove Artisan Fair that's coming up. There's 3 dates for that. I'm going to be one of the artisans at Brick Cove. So I'll be offering my various plant arrangements. Kelly, I brought for you.
Oh, I love the milk glass bars. Those are my favorite.
I have a variety of succulent arrangements that I specialize in. I work a lot with succulents because they're, generally easy to care for, which most people, and they make lovely, little gifts and hostess gifts and birthday gifts and just gifts for ourselves, right? We all deserve to give gifts to us and our homes. So I'll be there for a couple of dates this summer, and I've been in this plant styling business, making arrangements for probably about 8 years now. What I love to do most of all, aside from creating and designing, which is order, all cut order, I love to.
Elissa, can I interrupt you a second? Do you have 2 devices playing? Because I hear an echo.
I do too.
No.
Okay, and it's because somebody else wants to comment. Your voice is breaking up. So obviously, I want everybody to hear what you're saying, but there's some version of an echo, and I don't know.
Why don't the 3 of us try going on mute while she's talking? See if that helps.
I don't think I do. Is that better? That's better? Okay. So aside from creating and designing my arrangements, which are mostly custom order, and doing pop-up fairs, I love to share my passion for what I do with others and teach how to make these arrangements. So a very common workshop of mine is Sippin' Succulents, which people just gather and get together and get their hands in the dirt and get dirty, dig in, and really just surprise themselves at what they can create and what they can design. And I love seeing how plants truly bring people together. They really do. I think that, with what we've gone through in the last 3 years, plants with COVID became very, very, very popular again because I felt like people were home-based. They were at home. It gave them something to nurture. Greenery is really healthy. We all know it oxygenates the air. So when you get a group of people together, the dynamic of what they can see and create and watch them surprise themselves and the laughter that goes with it is really, truly wonderful. It's just great. I always love to tell a story. My mother-in-law, who's the sweetest 92-year-old, often asks me to see pictures, of my workshops. And I'll show Ange the pictures of the workshops, and she'll say, Elissa, they look like the nicest people. Everybody looks so happy. And I'm like, Mom, literally everybody, they are the nicest people. And I'm like, and they are really happy. So, usually the feedback that I get is, when are we doing the next one? What are we going to make next? And so it's just this great way to gather and create and imagine and style. And I always tell people, okay, now you put your plant stylist hat on and we're going to go ahead and make these. So typically we do terrariums. We do succulent terrariums, which are very popular, where we layer in, the soil and the stones and the succulents. What's very big this summer is I'm doing succulent topped driftwood workshops. Ooh. So get these gorgeous pieces of driftwood, not the ones that you grab from the beach, because unfortunately those have salt in them. So I order mine. So if you go out and grab one from the beach, unfortunately, the salt will eventually kill, unless you let it sit for a long time. The salt will kill the plant But we take these pieces of driftwood and we tie in. Actually, I'm looking at one right here. I'll show it to you from this end. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, I love.
Can you see that? This is a work in progress. And that's a sola flower, which is a wood pressed flower.
Wow. I have a piece of driftwood that I've had probably for like 10 years. Can we use that one?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay.
And then as you layer it with mosses, and the succulents we embed them into the moss and they root into the moss. So it's, again, super fun. The last workshop I did with that one, I had about 12 participants and nobody was talking. And I was like, why aren't you guys talking? They were all so focused on every little single piece that they were doing. I was like, okay, guys, it's time to laugh. And then they kind of broke out. They're like, I know, we know. We're just so into what we're doing. So,
Elissa, I love your passion for plants, and your passion for even educating and teaching people and sharing that joy that you get growing plants is so infectious. I love it. I myself am trying to get a green thumb. And like you said, with COVID in the last couple of years, there were so many such limited things you could do, especially things that would bring you joy in return. So I find that just planting something and then having it grow, and when it blooms, like I have these peonies that are now blooming, and frankly, I did nothing other than bury them in the ground and once in a while water them. It's so rewarding.
Exactly.
So I totally understand how. I loved your story about the mother-in-law, because I totally understand how even if you're not a nice person or you're having a bad day or you're grumpy, being around plants can just bring out that inner peace and calm and joy that we're all seeking. So I love that you're teaching these classes with the passion that you bring. It's so wonderful. I can't wait to be in one of the classes.
It's awesome. So we have some dates coming up. I'm going to be at Saru Vineyards, Saru Tasting House, on I'm just failing to remember the date. It's the Wednesday after July 4th, so I think it's July 4th is on a Monday, so it would be the 6th at Saru at 6 o'clock, and then at the Gardens at B&B Bed and Borders, and I'll be there on June 23rd, Friday, June 23rd, and then again on I'm sorry, that's Thursday, June 23rd, and then again on Friday, July 1st. So June 23rd is an evening, and Friday, July 1st is 11 a.m.
I'm assuming is either on your Instagram or do you have a website?
Yes, right on my website. The link is on my Insta page. If you go to follow me and go to my stories and you'll see it there. You can go and register, right? Saru, you register directly through them, and the others you register through me. And I've spoken to Peconic Chronicle Wines about doing a workshop there in August. So we're looking to do that. And I've also spoken to Peconic River, which is a beautiful nursery in Peconic. So yeah, just keep following me and see where I wind up.
So sorry guys, I took myself off mute, and every time I do, it's the echo. So I'm gonna stay on mute, but I'm listening. I think I'm causing the tech issues. Sorry.
Although now, Kelly, it sounds better.
It's
now.
Okay. It's all right now.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe my hop on, hop off fixed it.
Yeah,
so
it's better.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alyssa, how did you get started in this?
It's a good question, Tracy. If you had told me I was going to be doing this 20 years ago, I would have been like, what? So I've always had a passion for interior design and design in general, colors, patterns, movement, pulling things together. And I've always had a passion for plantings. And I, many, many, many years ago when my kids were babies, I always wanted to take that and kind of do something with it. And I started with the outdoor container gardening like I did for you, Tracy, because it was a great way to bridge all of that color and forms into, right? And so that was seasonal. You know, you can certainly do plantings for the summer. You can do beautiful plantings for the fall. You can do beautiful dry plantings for the winter for outdoor containers. But then I wanted a way to bring it in. So I found the way to bring it in was to start to create indoor containers. So indoor terrariums, indoor little, you know, milk glass containers with succulents that somebody could pop on their kitchen counter and just, it makes you smile every time you walk by it. So I started arranging like-minded plants in the same groupings and kind of putting that all together, because we all know you can go to these lovely garden design centers, but they might pop a fern in with a succulent. You know, like, nah, you can't put a fern with a succulent because they have two different, you know, they have different needs. Succulents need to be very dry. Ferns need to be very moist, right? Ferns need shade. Succulents need bright light. So I kind of learned enough to put them all, arrange them all together with a happy marriage so that they flourish and that people have them for a very long time and they can enjoy them for a very long time. And low maintenance. I try to do very low maintenance because I know that's what most people want. So that's really how I got into it, was that passion between design and plants. And all of a sudden I was doing it. And my friend said to me, and why aren't you doing this? And why aren't you, you know, selling these? And then I went into some stores and some artist co-ops and I started getting more involved. And that's when I really broke it down and said, you know, I'm a teacher by heart. So I want to share what I'm doing with others. And that's my favorite thing to do. And that's how I got into the workshops. Yeah.
Very cool. So tell us your tie to the North Fork.
Oh boy. So my tie to the North Fork goes way, 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 way back. I was an early 90s Hamptons gal. And we used to do the summer shares out there, you know, when I lived in the city in New York. And one of my favorite things to do in all those years was I'd always drive to Sag Harbor, hop on the ferry, go to Shelter, drive across Shelter, hop off in Greenport, and do the North Fork. Now, at that point, the North Fork wasn't what we have today, right? I mean, it's changed crazy.
Yeah.
But I always, always, always loved being in these towns in Greenport. I used to walk around. I used to, you know, find the cute little restaurants. I used to go to what was the Five and Dime called in Greenport?
Oh, I don't know. I know where it was because
yeah,
you still see the sign in the back, right?
Yeah, the huge place. That was a great little place. So, so for many years I was familiar. We got married on Shelter Island at Ram's Head Inn.
Oh, nice.
Years ago, yeah. So I always had a tie-in to that and the Cheekwit, which they were sisters at the time. And so I've spent so many years, and it came to a time where we wanted to, so I'm based out of Connecticut and Mattatuck, and we wanted to spend more time out there. So we started researching, and I was originally first in South Jamesport and then moved up to Mattatuck, where we are now. So it's been many, many years of love for the North Fork, and I love what how it's grown. I love what it offers. You know, it's a treasure. It's my happy place. It's a treasure.
Well, you're definitely not alone in that. I think it's a lot of people's happy place. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find it fascinating that there's so many different types of art, if you will. And from the way you're describing, and I know you just glossed over that a fern shouldn't be in the same succulent. And I assume that we all know that, but that's information, new information for me. I'm just saying, because you obviously spent a lot of time and or practice and learned, you know, what goes well together. I loved how you said happy marriage. So it does make sense to have somebody show you the ropes in terms of what works and what doesn't work. Because, you know, if the planter is going to die, then you're automatically not motivated to do it the next time. But recognizing, you know, what it takes to survive, where like-minded plants will survive together versus, you know, I think, exactly. And I love that it's an art form, and you're I love the word plant stylist. Never even looked at it like that. You know, gardener is the term we always use, but plant stylist sounds very interesting.
Well, I was at a pop-up one day a couple of years ago and selling, you know, and one gentleman said, "Oh, wait." And I said, "Oh, I like that. I like how that curtain. That's what it
I
is."
was going to attempt to unmute, but I think that's when Elissa's tech trouble came in. But I wanted to mention, over Easter, Elissa had given me 2 adorable little succulent plants, and I wanted to bring them on the show today. And then I realized that my mom had stolen them from me. So they do bring joy, so much joy that they get stolen from the people who own them.
That's hysterical.
Yes.
She's really so sweet. She should come to one of the workshops.
She would love it. She would love it. Mm-hmm.
Fun.
Definitely. I'm
Awesome.
gonna go back on mute because I feel like I'm the problem.
Sorry, I did like the Zoom thing where I started talking and I was already on mute. So why don't we go into our same 5 questions, different perspective. So I'll kick it off. What is the farm stand that you visit the most here on the North Fork?
That question's for me?
Yes. Yes.
Well, that's a loaded one, Tracy. There are so wonderful ones. I have to say, if I had to pick my favorite, this is really hard. I love Seps.
Mm-hmm.
Seps is really awesome because not only is the produce really wonderful, but I absolutely love their jarred goods. They have this awesome yellow tomato, I don't know what's in there, garlic, onions in a jar, golden. It's called golden tomato sauce. And you can put that thing on anything. You can put it on pasta. You can put it on a piece of fish. You can put it on a piece of chicken. It is really good. Really good.
I haven't tried that. I have to look at it. I feel that way about their, I think it's a ginger scallion dip. I mean,
yeah.
The ingredients are listed on top, but I feel like there's crack in there. It is so good. Eating it, it's delicious. So yeah, agreed with
it. So that's, you know, my favorite. And I would have to give a shout out, you know, because it wouldn't be right if I didn't. We live on Breakwater Road, and the house is right up, it abuts Cooper's farm, which is, you know, not the prettiest, most beautiful laid out farm, but he has really great stuff, and you can walk in the fields. I don't know if you guys have ever done that, but you can walk and pick your own, which is really fun.
Very cool.
I definitely have to try that. I've heard. I love little farm stands that are not necessarily aesthetically put together. I mean, all things are good, but little farm stands from little home gardeners that put out fresh produce is amazing too.
And it's great.
To pick your own is wonderful.
It is. And you can really go and pick your own and walk the fields. And so that's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun to do.
Okay. I know favorites are tough because we all have so many different things. So this question really isn't about favorites. It's just about introducing what you are currently enjoying or your favorites that you enjoy. So that being said, do you frequent or visit breweries or vineyards? And do you have either a wine or a vineyard that you might recommend?
I do. And right now, my favorite would probably be Saru, because I love their wines, and I love the fact that it's a little different. When you walk in, you feel like you're walking into a home. You feel like you're walking into a little living room. So whereas all the other vineyards are absolutely stunning, obviously, and you're outdoors, I went there for the first time off season. So I was indoors, and I really felt like I was walking into somebody's living room. And I find that very inviting, and the wines are yummy.
I'm going to attempt to go off mute. Do you have a spot that you love to watch a sunrise or a sunset?
Yeah, we're lucky because we have Breakwater Beach right by us in Mattatuck, right on the Sound. And so that's definitely my fave place to go. Unless I'm sipping on a cocktail at Halyard.
Well, that's the perfect segue into the next question. If you were going to ask us all to meet you for a meal out at a restaurant, where would you ask us to meet you?
Oh, you guys are killing me. Well, I took Sunita's lead and we tried Pearl and Greenport. And we had a really, really fabulous meal and dinner. And she was right about the bread. I don't know what they do, but it was really delish. So right now, that's my new favorite. I have many. Could go on and on.
Okay, we went last year, Tracy and I, so I'm glad that they haven't changed the bread, because you never know. Some people, restaurant changes their menu, so I'm glad they have the charred bread, and maybe we'll do takeout and get the bread and have a picnic somewhere.
I like that idea.
Love it. Love that idea.
All right, which one are we missing, Sunita? Are we missing one?
Nope, we're good. We're wrapping up.
We got them all. All right, so Elissa, if you could wrap up for us why you love being a part of the North Fork community, why you chose to be a part of this community, and what you see your future here being. Give us a couple sentences.
Sure. I love being part of the North Fork community because I feel like there's a lot of like-minded people out there who enjoy all of the same things that I love. Love of land, love of farm, love of beauty, love of food, love of wine. So it's just so like-minded. And when I, arrive, it's just that, that relaxation, that breath. And I would absolutely love to grow my business out on the North Fork, which I'm starting to do this summer. So I would love to do more container gardening for people who are looking for outside planters. I would love to, I failed to mention that I also teach private workshops. So, anybody who wants to do a birthday party, or anybody who wants to do a book club activity, or anybody that wants to do a rehearsal dinner activity, bridal shower.
That's so fun. I feel like a private party, that's such a unique way to celebrate.
Yep. Just need 8 girls, 6 to 8. We gather. I bring everything in, soup to nuts. You just need the table. And then we go from there. We dig in and have a lot of fun.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah. That sounds so amazing. So, and all the information is on your Instagram. That's linked. It's Imaginariums by Elissa. We'll tag her on the post so you can find her. I just have a question. I know you teach classes and you show people how to create. Do you also sell pre-done containers with the succulents or other plants that we could buy?
I do. So I have all of my offerings are on my website. They're generally made to order unless I'm doing a pop-up, like I'll be at, Brick Cove later in the summer. But if I'm not doing a pop-up and you don't get them there at those pop-ups, right now I'm not in any retail stores on the North Fork. I will hope to be able to do that. But right now it's all custom order and I can bring to you.
Sounds awesome. I have this vision of right next to your house, a little farm stand with a little folding table with, planters with driftwood. I'm going to try and pick one up. So
that's the goal.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us. It's wonderful to hear about all the stuff you do and the joy you spread. And I can't wait to be at one of your classes and create one of my own. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. See you next Friday.
So much, Elissa. Bye.